It was 1287. The king of Bagan was dead. The death of Narathihapitit threw the Mongol plans out of the window. With anarchy erupting everywhere, the Mongol army stopped their evacuation. Under the command of Prince Insign Timur, a grandson of Kublai, the Yuan forces pushed to take Bagan city in late 1287. Here is where things became unclear. According to G.E. Harvey, Prince Timur attacked Bagan and after losing 7,000 men, took the city. Sir Henry Ewell, however, disagreed, stating that there are no Mongol or Chinese records mentioning the taking of Bagan itself, or even temporarily occupying it. Most recent historians believe that the Mongols never reached Bagan city itself, as the remnants of the Burmese army remained in place. Even though the Bagan monarchy had become highly unpopular, many Burmese nobles remained defiant towards Mongol domination. The most notable among them were the three brothers of Myanmar, Athenkia, Yazatinjan, and Theathu, commonly known in Burmese history as the Shaninau or the Shan brothers. Their ethnicity as Shans has been contested by Michael Antoine and other more recent historians, as it is only based on the fact that their father had held the title Sorbois, a traditionally Shan title. However, this isn't mentioned by any Bamar nor Shan language sources. It has to be remembered that the modern concepts of ethnicity and nationalities do not fit neatly into historical societies. Regardless of whether they were Bamar or Shan, the Burmese royal chronicles and the people of Bagan remembered them as the high-born nobles who had taken command during the time of despair. The brothers had been the commanders who manned the defenses as the king and the royal family left, fighting the Mongols and delaying actions throughout Narathiapatit's final years, and even though the king was now dead, the brothers were determined to keep the Mongols from reaching Bagan. Gathering the Bagan city guard, loyal knightly nobles of central Burma, and combined them with what remained of the Bagan forces, the Myanmar brothers gained a small but highly disciplined force. As the Burmese had been fighting nothing but losing battles with minimal support, the brothers knew that engaging the Mongols head-on was suicidal. However, having fought the Yuan forces since the start of 1283, the brothers have also discovered the Mongol weaknesses, chose the strategy of defense in depth. The strategy was to soak up the Mongol attacks through layers of minor forts, ditches, and stockades. Although the strategy had failed Anandapyasi in the Second Battle of Ngasaungjan, this time they will be fighting them in central Myanmar, a region that was among the hottest in the country. We do not know the exact details of what happened, except for the fact that the Mongols attacked. It is uncertain how big the Burmese army was, but most historians accepted that the Burmese army could have possibly been around 7,000 strong. Meanwhile, Timur was bringing the bulk of the Mongol army, which has been described to be somewhere between 12 to 30,000 strong. The only clear fact is that the Burmese were outnumbered. The Grand Yuan army attacked with siege weapons and disciplined columns, pushing hard into the Burmese defenses. Again and again, the Mongols attacked, losing volleys of arrows, then trying to storm the walls. However, the entrenchments protected the Burmese from the worst of the arrow fire and did not allow the Mongols from unleashing their elite cavalry. Worst of all, the intense heat was preventing the infantry from fighting at their best. The Burmese continued again, retreating back into their layered defenses once the Mongols overrun them. The Myanmar brothers stood on the wall with their men in the midst of the fighting, encouraging them. All they had to do was to stand their ground and hold the line. And soon, the Mongols lost their momentum. The summer of Burma had arrived, and the Yuan forces took the full blunt of the heat. According to a stone inscription dated on the 16th of February, 1293, this was the moment when the three brothers gathered their men and ordered a general attack. Prince Timur was forced to retreat back to the Mongol-held lands of the Gaon with heavy losses. And yet, it would not be accurate to say it was a Burmese victory, because although the battle was won, the war was already lost and the kingdom was in chaos. The Mongols at the Gaon decided not to get involved, leaving the power vacuum unfilled, and let the Burmese sort it out on their own. With no one to oppose them, the brothers officially took over the leadership of the Burmese army and consolidated their hold in the Chaose region, the main granary of the empire. Although central Burma and the Bagan kingdom was officially under Yuan rule, it was the brothers that truly held the real power. Their small and disciplined army was unable to retake the lost lands, but they were seen as heroes who had finally defeated the Mongols. In May 1289, one of Narathihapitet's sons, Prince Josua, emerged as king. But Josua, a former viceroy of the La, had no real power in the upper country and controlled very little outside of Bagan. To many, the real power lied in the Myanmar brothers. The Bagan Empire may be no more, but perhaps for the Myanmar kingdom, it was just the beginning.